Australian Greens leader Richard Di Natale stood on a High Park lawn with a sweeping view over Brisbane City and its inner suburbs and declared, "We are going to make history at the weekend." It was the sort of thing party leaders tend to say in the days before an election, and it seemed particularly bold. Apart from Labor defector Ronan Lee in 2008, who switched parties mid-term, the Greens have not had a representative in the Queensland Parliament. But suddenly, buoyed by their party's decisive victory over Labor in Melbourne's recent Northcote by-election and a surge of enrolments by young first-time voters following the same-sex marriage survey, no less than 3 Greens are staking claims on adjoining inner-city Brisbane seats. Di Natale admits he was bitterly opposed to Prime Minister Malcolm Turnbull's decision to run a postal vote on same-sex marriage, but finds wry satisfaction in the knowledge that one of the spin-offs for the Greens was the massive rise in voter enrolments, mainly among young people who had become politically engaged. Just the sort of people who might be persuaded to vote Green in the electorates sought by his party on Saturday, and just the sort of people who gave the party victory in Northcote. So successful was the marriage survey enrolment drive in Brisbane that there is a reported 50% increase in newly enrolled electors in the seat of South Brisbane since the last state election, and it's thought to be a similar story in the neighbouring seats. You could see each of the 3 electorates sought by the Greens from the airy spot in Highgate Hill Park chosen by Di Natale for his expansive prediction on Wednesday. Highgate Hill is a rare swatch of green in the prized Labor seat of South Brisbane. North across the river is MC Seal, currently held by an estimated margin of 3.1% by Labor Minister Grace and under siege by the Greens' Kirsten Lovejoy, a climate policy analyst. To the west sprawls Maiwar, a new seat with an estimated margin of just 3% to the Liberal National Party's Scott Emerson. A lawyer with a record of representing community groups against coal mines, Michael Berkman, hopes to take Maiwar. With the Queensland state election half a week away, campaign strategists for another of those Greens candidates, Amy McMahon, believe she is within no more than 10 or 15 votes of winning South Brisbane. It sounds at first blush far-fetched, and Labor campaigners publicly scoff at the idea. McMahon, a 31-year-old who has recently completed a PhD in climate change issues in Bangladesh, is trying to take the seat from one of the Queensland Labor government's most high-profile MPs, Deputy Premier Jackie Trad, who holds it by a solid margin of 13.8%. It is Queensland's oldest state electorate, and traditionally Labor territory. Since 1915 it has been out of Labor hands only 3 times. The member for South Brisbane before Trad was former Labor Premier Anna Bligh. Yet a couple of weeks ago a Galaxy poll had McMahon ahead of Trad 51-49 on the 2-party preferred vote. It sent a shock through Queensland Labor, the sort of dread felt by Victorian Labor at the loss of Northcote after 90 years.